Okay. Okay. I'm hoping that's nice and clean with regards to the start of the show. Now, it's me talking to the world. I'm Vader Game. Let me introduce myself. The show is Why Always Me. And for those of you that know me, are going to get to know me, you'll understand I'm a Man City fan. So the tie to Why Always Me. Now, I wanted to do this show and I wanted to kind of introduce myself this way because I love football. I love soccer, depending on where you are in the world and what you call it. And what I love most is the football talk. It's how people analyze. It's how people look at the game. You know, it's how you express your fan energy and enthusiasm. So, what I want to do though is just bring up and share some topics that I have that I don't really see anywhere else. I mean, there's a lot of football pundits. There's a lot of YouTubers. There's a lot of YouTubers out there that all have their opinions, and it's all great. I consume a lot of it. I enjoy listening to it in the background, hearing some of these podcasts, hearing some of the shows. But at the same time, I'm like sitting back and I'm like, where's my perspective? Where's someone looking at it from a different lens, a different angle? Unfortunately, a lot of people kind of parrot the same talking points. And I mean, when you're making content every day for several hours, obviously some things are going to get repetitive. So I'm hoping that I'm able to inject something different. Obviously, you can tell from the background, I'm Toronto based. Obviously, there's challenges in itself being a Toronto-based, being Toronto-based and being a fan of the EPL and time zones and things of that nature. But I think it also brings a different perspective. You're not as privileged to be able to, be amongst the fans, being amongst the grounds, being in the stadiums and traveling to many games, right? So in a part you're a hardcore fan, but from a distance, you know what I'm saying? So what I'm hoping to do is just give that perspective. I'm gonna be that Toronto-based Man City EPL fan, football fan, soccer fan. Again, no matter where you are in the world, you may call it something different, but I'm here to give that different perspective and point of view. So I'm gonna jump right in. Topics that I need to get off my chest. And let's give the reggae horns, gunshots. Let's go. First topic. All right. The first thing that I want to talk about. And this is nothing new, but who's really in the hunt for second place in the EPL? Like really, who are the teams to really consider for this? And I, as a Man City fan, I love the fact that it's now who's going to win second place, who's going for second place. All right. Now, it's too bad. It's too bad that Liverpool aren't able to defend their title the way they had anticipated, the way they had prompted and told the world that they were going to do. So as a result of that, it's a new mix. It's a different mix of teams that are all going to be battling for number 2. I'm not going to count Liverpool out. Klopp is a very good. I said Klumps. Klopp is a very good manager. Very good manager. I know there's been challenges in his personal life as well as challenges amongst the team on why they're not firing at the highest level. But there's no excuse for that. There's no excuse. You accept it and you move on. You continue on. If things are difficult, then you lean on your team, your assistants. You know what I'm saying? So Liverpool not being able to compete at the level that they want, I'm not giving them a bly for that. However, I am looking at the other mixes of teams that are competing. We got the Man U's. We got Leicester. We've got Chelsea. Liverpool's still going to be battling in there. I'm not going to count out the fact that Everton can go on a run. You know what I mean? But to be able to compete and be in the mix for that second place finish in the EPL, because we all know that being top 4 is very important financially, as well as a club, how you want to attract new talent. or actually retain talent as well. So you want to be in that top four. But who's going to be second? And obviously, Man U are second right now. Who's going to challenge for that? I'm going to say Chelsea. I'm going to say Chelsea for a few reasons. I think with a new manager, different perspective that people aren't quite ready for is going to shake things up a little bit. It's going to keep obviously the teams that are in the EPL a little on guard, a little unprepared in terms of what Tuchel is going to bring. So I think that's going to be the advantage for Chelsea, and I'm not mad at that. As a Man City fan, I don't have any. Yo, what a do, Blaze. Thanks for tuning in, my guy. I'm just talking to the world right now. It's kind of like an impromptu show. Why always me? I'm doing my thing right now, talking EPL, talking some football, talking some soccer, depending on where you are in the world. But, and I was just going over the team that I think is really going to be in the mix for second place in the EPL. And I'm going to say Chelsea. And I'm very happy to say Chelsea too, because Chelsea gets a lot of flack from the quote unquote historic teams in the EPL with the injection of new money with regards to Chelsea. So for them to be in the mix, showing the rest of the EPL that they've changed managers, they're able to still contend and be amongst the best in the EPL. I'm all for that. Selfishly, seeing the Man U's, the Liverpools, the Arsenals further down that list, I am happy. Ideal would be Man City, Chelsea, Leicester, and Everton. If that were to happen, oh my, I'd be amped. And the talks would be great. The talks would be great within the EPL. Yeah, I'm talking football, Blaze. Blaze, my partner channel, we do a show every Sunday, Healthy Conversation. You're not going to want to miss out on that. And the content that's going to be coming out from me and him, it's going to be next level. So definitely stay tuned if you're new to the channel, viewers. I am simultaneously broadcasting on YouTube as well. So definitely check me out on YouTube, VatorgamesTV on YouTube. Hit me up with a comment, see what it's like, see what that production's like. Let me know. Now, I don't think Tottenham's in the mix to contend for second. As great as a challenge and battle it's been, I don't think West Ham's going to remain in contention. I think Leicester does have a strong chance. So Leicester and Chelsea would be the two that I'd really be looking at for a battle or to earn that second spot. Can't say top spot. All right. Now, I talked a little bit about Liverpool not being able to defend the title the way that they want. And a big reason for that, and then there's an amazing Liverpool fan base, but the big reason for Liverpool not being able to defend the title the way that they want, despite the injuries are a part of it. But I think whenever you've had a goal that you've been striving to, and that's eluded you for 30 years, and you have a squad, you have a team that's actually gone to that point, and as they've gone to that point and won that title, you then get the praise from everybody, pundits, loyalists, like everybody and their mama were praising Liverpool as one of the best teams to have ever graced the EPL. Could they be the greatest team ever, and to have won the title the way that they did with the lead of points that they did. I think they believe too much of their own hype. I think the injuries that have actually crept in isn't just a result of maybe pushing too hard over the years. I think it's kind of being lax. You've won it, you fall back, you don't really put in the same amount of training, you don't really take the same level, you don't put in the same level of intensity to remain fit, to improve, and you also misjudge the level of aggression and focus and attention that you're going to get from your competitors. So I think the fact that they had the title, they had the target on their back after winning the title, they were not prepared for what was going to come at them from a competitive standpoint. And that's why the Man U's, the Chelsea's, the Man City's, like teams that have been able to repeat, I think there's a huge credit that needs to be put on the manager, one, but also the players. I mean, I'm sure everyone watching right now, everyone's going to be watching in the future, viewers, you guys know, no matter what you've competed in, it's to be motivated to get to become number one is hard. It's difficult. Don't get me wrong. That's hard to do, but it's even harder. I would say it's even harder to maintain and remain number one, right? Because it's easy to be like, oh, I won it. Okay. I got nothing else to prove, and to let someone else creep in, but to still have the same motivation. Like, I've won it and I don't want anyone else to win it. That's next level. And I don't think Liverpool ever had the ability to do that. They saw the goal on winning the league. They saw the goal of even winning Champions League, and they were like, work's done. I got nothing else to prove. And that's the difference between the greats and the goods. They're the goods. But you've had Man U's, you've had Man City's, the greats, those teams to repeat, the greats. That's what it takes. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not giving no blight to Liverpool. Yes, they had the injuries, but the excuse is done. Excuse FC, done. I don't want to hear it anymore. Clump's. Why do I keep calling him Clump? You know why I call him Clump? Because I saw Nutty Professor like two nights ago, and it's on my brain for whatever reason. But Klopp, for the record, Klopp, I think he's been exposed. I think the program that he's put through, the tactics that he's put through, even the use of the players and how he's comprised his team and the talent that he's gone after. I think he's pigeonholed himself. He's limited himself in terms of how he can adapt. Right. So when you have some Liverpool fans, he doesn't have the team to be able to adjust or make changes. You guys were saying this. You guys were saying this is the best team ever assembled. And now, in the same breath, you're now saying he doesn't have the team. He doesn't have the depth. You can't go from being the best team ever, to then being, oh, it's not that good of a team with a couple injuries, even if there are injuries in the defense, because that doesn't excuse what you're doing in the midfield. That doesn't excuse what's not being done up at striker at forward. You know what I mean? So Liverpool, the excuses are done. You need to fix up. You need to shape up. You need to start winning again. 4 losses at home. Crazy. I'm so glad Man City was one of the teams to be able to break that curse. But I don't want to hear it anymore, Liverpool fans. Liverpool fans, you guys need to just own it. Or go back, retract, admit that you guys weren't that team you were claiming to be. Okay? It's as simple as that. As simple as that. Oh, this question got posed to me, and I was like, how am I going to articulate this? How am I going to really talk about this? But ranking the level of winning ambition that I see in the EPL amongst the big 6. So obviously, I think we can all agree that the standard is Man City. Say what you want with the influx of funds, but in terms of a strategy, in terms of a goal, in terms of how football was going to be transformed in Manchester City, there's no denying that there's tremendous ambition there, from training grounds to targeting a larger fan base, to increasing the Man City brand, to building a squad to compete amongst the teams that had a stranglehold on the EPL, like the Man U's, like the Chelsea's, Liverpool's and Arsenal's, to have that ambition to go after it, and not only to compete, but also to turn around and to win multiple EPLs. I think that standard is amongst Man City. And I know every rival would gladly accept what's being done in Man City with regards to ownership and the target goals to be applied to their team. Hands down. On another show, I'm actually going to break down why there's a fundamental flaw with American ownership with regards to the EPL and its teams. And all you need to do is look at the franchises and look at how leagues are structured in the US. You know what I mean? It's not for one squad, it's not for one team, one franchise to spend more than the other to win. That's not how they want to build. That's not how they build their leagues. They build their leagues for everyone to generally spend evenly. Obviously, everyone to get the profits with regards to league success, but for it to be who can manage better, not really can who can really inject their passion for their team and club and have it be the best. You see that in baseball. You know, think about the Yankees. Think about the Yankees, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And I know, obviously, you know, being out here in Toronto, I have those different perspectives. It's not so much European based, but when you think of those leagues, especially with baseball, and how owners can actually go and strive to make their teams the best, that's the difference amongst the ownerships that you're seeing within the NBA and within football. It's very different. Same goes for hockey, very different. So I'm, again, rival fan. I'm happy for the situation that Arsenal and Man U are in, Liverpool are in. But really, Chelsea's a tough one. Chelsea is a tough one. And I think that's really where the ambitions sit. The ambitions sit amongst Man City, Chelsea, even some of the lesser clubs. You look at it, Everton, and you can clearly see that their ambition has grown and improved. And when you look at relying too much on a strong fan base, on worldwide market share, and obviously that falls in with the Liverpools and the Man U's, relying on that is not enough, because that's not going to that's not proactive. It's not proactive at all. And it's going to lead me to the next point that I actually want to talk about here with regards to the ambition. And when you really take a minute and think about Man U, Liverpool, Arsenal, not so much Liverpool now with their recency in terms of winning the Champions League and the title last year. But is there a danger that the next generation of football fans will only know Man U, Arsenal for their past? I think that's a serious question here. I think it's a serious question because look at the spell. Look at the spell of no league title for Man U. Not since Sir Alex Ferguson have they won a title. Okay? Now you got Arsenal with a very long drought as well. And they've switched several managers. Man U has switched several managers. I think this generation, and if we think of a generation being 15, 20 years, 20, 25 years, if we think of that span of time, because I know that was a glory time. If we want to think of 25 years, Sir Alex Ferguson, 25 years at Man U, if I'm not mistaken. We think of Arsene Wenger, long career at Arsenal. That generation of fan, obviously they had their success, but now flip it to today, flip it to since Sir Alex has left, flip it to when Arsene Wenger was actually winning, right? And when I say winning, I mean winning titles. Like that's the difference. Winning trophies is great. But winning the league is where you're really going to get a stranglehold on the fan base with regards to the EPL. Okay, I'm a Toronto man, so you know obviously I have to root for, and I do root for Toronto FC. You know, MLS. Toronto's my local team. I root for my local team. So again, them being good is good, but them winning titles is great. That's what I want. Them winning titles. Them winning titles is what I remember, right? Them winning titles is why we're going to the parade, and why, you know, your little ones, you know what I mean? Your next generation, your kids are actually celebrating with you because they've won a title. Kids aren't celebrating necessarily because they won a trophy. They don't really understand it. But when you say they're the best in the league, they understand that. And I think that this generation now, and Man U in particular, needs. I think Arsenal might be there. Arsenal might be there, but Man U needs to be very careful. If they go too much longer without winning a title, all of that credit, all of that money in the bank, all of everything that they've kind of accumulated over the years, the Sir Alex Ferguson years, and almost winning every year, winning every other year, you know what I mean? Like not really having long gaps of not winning. You acquired a huge fan base because of that consistency of winning. And now when you're going to go a long drought without winning now, you're going to have the Man Cities. You're going to have the Chelseas. I hate to say it. And you also have the Liverpools because they won recently. But you're going to have those teams that are going to be strong memories and the teams that are actually going to pull on the fans to actually want to associate themselves with. Fans want to be with winners. Man U's not a winner right now. Arsenal hasn't been a winner right now. And Liverpool, if they're not careful, they're going to be one and dones. One and dones with a drought for a while. Who knows? Shoot, it might be another 30 years before they win their next title, depending on how things go. Now, I think, and I'm happy for it, with how Man City's doing. Man City's going to win the title this year. Yeah, I know I'm saying it early. I think just how the league's playing out, barring no injuries, because obviously you got to knock on wood. No injuries. Man City is winning the league. Then there's also the ambition, which they were able to do previous to winning the league, but winning the domestic title. There's the ambition to winning the treble that's only been done by Man U. Now, Man City does that. Man City does that and then puts a focus on just winning the league year after year after year after year to go after the 13 titles that Man U has. Dangerous. Like if the next 10 years has Man City winning 5 titles, think about the fan base. And then also if it's interrupted with not winning the title, realistically, who would you say are the teams that would challenge Man City for the title? Even though Man U's second in the league right now, I don't think you're saying they're going to be challenging for the league. I think you're still going to fall back and maybe, resurgence, refocused, understanding the challenges of being defending champs. Liverpool could bounce back. Obviously, with the investments and the ambition that Chelsea has, they could be in the mix. So if you have teams other than Man U, other than Arsenal, interrupting for those titles, that fan base that they've acquired over the years is gonna dwindle out. It's gonna be a next generation. It's gonna be a next generation of Man City fans. I know Man U fans don't want to hear that. I know Liverpool fans, I know Arsenal fans don't want to hear that. All right. Now, this is real. Man U and Arsenal fans have no patience to wait for the development of a new legend at manager. I don't see it. This generation, this social media generation, this microwave generation, they're not going to have the patience. They're not going to wait 7 years for their manager to win a title. They're not going to wait years for their manager to win Champions League. It's not happening. And it's too bad for them because that's not realistic. If you want what made, and again, I'm not coming from a space of jealousy here, not at all. But what made Man U, Arsenal, great clubs to follow, pay attention to, want to be associated with, because I got tons of Man U and Arsenal friends. But it was their consistency. It was like their foundation. It was their approach. And right now, Man U's moving like Chelsea, changing up managers, although they're sticking with Ole, which if you're going to establish that next legacy, You need to stick with somebody. You need to stick with a manager that's actually showing success. I know the man has his limitations, but if he's continuing to improve, if he's bringing off staff to improve as well, you let the man hold his job. Wait for him to lose the job before you just sack him and let him go. But I'm saying all of this is because Man U, Arsenal fans, I think they need to be patient. If you want to try and find the next legacy manager, it takes time. If you want to find the next Arsene Wenger, it takes time. So that quick to say Ollie out, the quick to say Arteta out, that's nuts. That's nuts. It's a long season. Even when managers are flirting around mid-table of the league, in the league, and it's less than halfway into the season, like, settle down. This manager out business is nuts. Let the managers find their way. Let them get the players that they want in the league, in their team. Let them establish their philosophy, and then go after it. It doesn't do your club any good to fire these managers and then have to pay them out as well, when you're then going to have to get another manager and then have to give that manager time to get players on board within the transfer windows and things of that nature. Like, this it's too much too fast, and I'm glad to say I don't see Man U fans or Arsenal fans being patient enough for that to happen. That's even better. Let it be a turnstile thing. Let managers come and go every 3 years. I'm cool for it. It's been every 2 years, I think, for Arsenal recently. It was like that for Man U for a spell. It may be like that again, depending on what happens this year. But I don't think that legend manager is going to be at those clubs for a while. And maybe they like it like that. Maybe Man U fans are happy to say that Sir Alex Ferguson has been the greatest manager ever. They don't want someone replacing him. They don't want to give someone time to do it. They don't want to give another manager 20 plus years. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Arsenal fans are the same way. They don't want the memory of Arsene Wenger going away, so they're not going to give anyone time to do that. Yeah, I think that deserves some shots, you know. This next one, and I kind of already talked about it a little bit, but let's put it on screen for you guys. Would an Arsene Wenger or Alex Ferguson be able to create their legacy if they debuted today for their team? Whew. What? Oh, got to ring the alarm on that. Would an Arsene or Sir Alex? I mean, it's like I just said. It's a no. It's a no. The fan base would not be patient enough. And I also think that the scrutiny that the managers would have externally from the quote unquote football pundits wouldn't allow for it. Would not allow for it. So short answer is nah. If Arsene Wenger, a young Arsene Wenger, came to Arsenal right now today, a young Sir Alex Ferguson came to Man U today, more than half of this fan base would be ready to kick them out the door if they started their early career the way they started it back in the day. Wanting to change everything, wanting to apply their philosophy. You'd have the fan base that wouldn't agree with them. They'd take a couple losses, have a bad spell, lose to some rivals, and they'd be wanted out. Fans would want their heads. The legacies aren't happening anymore unless you have an ambitious team. And then you guys are going to hate me because I'm coming back to the example of Man City. Unless you have something set up where you're going to give a manager time. And it's funny right now because manager time is giving them like 5 years. Someone spending more than 5 years at a club is like a long time, you know? Klopp with what he's doing right now, his tenure at Liverpool, that's considered a long time. It's crazy. But unfortunately, I don't think the legends like Arsene Wenger and Sir Alex Ferguson would have survived today. I don't think the fan base would allow it. And that's sad to say. It's really sad to say. Although it's sad to say, but it's entertaining. I I have the YouTube playing in the background all the time, listening to some of these guys and how they go on about their managers, their teams. You know what I'm saying? So it would be incredibly entertaining, but it would be unfortunate. I know this one's gonna trigger a few people, but I think it's real. The EPL will be better off with teams other than Liverpool, Arsenal, Man Museum United winning the league. Facts. The reason why I say that, okay, and again, Toronto man here, okay, and I ingest a lot of sports. I'm a track man at heart, but NFL, NBA, you know what I mean? I consume all of it. You know what I mean? I'm a sport guy. So when you have a lot of teams that are in the mix to challenge for a title, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. I know traditionally it may not seem that way. Like when you're so used to seeing, you know, football royalty at the top. But if you're able to have, if the question is able to be out there, it was like, who's going to win it? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams all in the mix to do it. I know it's different this year. Man City's running away with it. But even when you look at who's going to be contending for second place, and you can even look from second to 10th place and being like, yo, a team could go on a run and make this happen. I think that's really good for the sport. And another reason why it's good for the sport is because when you have the back and forth wins and losses, you have the banter that's going back from clubs, you have the rivalry, and then you also have an enthusiastic fan base that now believe and can see that they have a chance of winning. That's just going to inject a lot more money in the mix. Okay? You don't want it to be a done deal knowing that A team is going to be beating C team. You don't want that to be the case. You want to be able to be like, I don't know. Is Man U going to be able to win against West Ham? I don't know. You know what I mean? Is Leicester going to be able to win against Liverpool? I don't know. So that, I think, is going to bring a lot more eyeballs. It's actually going to, when lockdown's over, I think it's actually going to result in a lot more people coming into the mix, coming to the stands, checking out the games, a lot more people tuning in. Shoot. And then we didn't even talk about the wager standpoint, but we know that that's part of the business. So I think it's a beautiful thing. Man Museum United, that's a good one. You heard it here first, VatorgamesTV. But I think if it's more than just the big six in the mix, it's going to be great for the EPL. And I am all for it. I was just wanted to get these topics off my head. I was messing around with a few things. This is episode 1. The ideas that I want to get out there, the point of view that I want to get out there is just things that I don't hear often enough. So let me know what you guys think. I'm hoping to do this once a week if I can. So Thursdays kind of make sense because my team's not playing on Thursdays. So can kind of talk about what's happened during the week, talk a little bit with what's going to be up and coming with regards to the weekend. But I'm going to keep it short and sweet like that. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. I'm going to be messing around with this again in my free time. Obviously, I'm a sports guy. I'm watching some sports. I enjoy my FIFA as well. I'm playing in a league. If you guys ever want to test your skills against me, feel free. I play in a league. It's called the IEGA. Check it out, or hit me up. You can get some games. I'm on a PS, so I'm only playing on the PS. So I'm gonna put that out there. But also, like I mentioned earlier, healthy conversation every Sunday. It's a different perspective that you're gonna get from me. Partner channel A Blaze. We just link up with the people. We talk for an hour and a half, 2 on Sunday. So if you're on North America part of the world, it's easy for you guys to tune in because of the time zone and things like that. So don't miss out. All right. I hope you enjoyed this content. There's going to be more. And that's episode 1. Vader Games. Why always me? Why always me? I don't know. Why am I always the one with the opposite opinion? I don't know. But I'm here for it. Looking forward to your feedback. Thanks. Hit the like, hit the follow, share it. Appreciate it. Vader Games. Much respect.